A woman who doesn't fear you will eventually despise you. If she doesn't fear disrespecting you, if she doesn't fear your power, if she doesn't fear actually losing you, she will despise you forever. And I know that sounds harsh, but the relationship between a man and a woman needs hostile tension. And the moment you actually eliminate that tension, guess what? You kill the attraction.
One of the worst things you can be as a man when it comes to dealing with women is a conflict avoidant man. So much of the things you want with a woman lies behind conflict. But you guys are so afraid of the consequences of conflict, you won't have the conflict. And this is the same test you fellas fail time and time again. However, a warrior doesn't just cut the head off anything that moves. Knowing when to strike and how to strike is just as important as the willingness and courage to strike. These things are tested as well. It's very important as a man that you know when to add more wrapping to your woman's fantasy wrapped bubble and when to pierce your sword through it, pop it, and destroy it. Because this says a lot about who you are as a man. Like Mihawk from One Piece said, I'm not the kind of fool that hunts rabbits with a cannon. You may have a reputation, but you're just still a bunny. Ask yourself this question. How do you see a woman? Do you see her as a tiger or do you see her as a bunny?
This is why your equal partners dynamic feels dead, because it is. This is why your relationship has no passion left in it. You chased equality, and equality destroyed desire, because desire doesn't want equality. Desire wants polarity. Desire wants tension. Desire wants a man who has something worth surrendering to and a woman who still knows how to surrender to that man.
Women feel desire when there is a power discrepancy that works in the man's favor. This is why women are so turned on by men with the authority to tell them what to do and make them feel what they want them to feel. And why they are so turned on by men who make them want to perform in response to this authority. It's very easy to sleep with a woman if you are her boss, her coach, her trainer, her mentor, her manager, or even just her supervisor. Women are also turned on by men who give themselves authority by way of directing how she is being made to feel. So men with game, seductive men, charming men, witty men, men who can penetrate her mind and read her mind, men who know how to talk to women outside of the bedroom and inside of the bedroom. Because sexual desire from the woman to the man exists in a power discrepancy, this means the feeling of tension is the feeling that the woman associates with chemistry, romance, arousal, and sexual attraction. The woman who strives for power over the man, the woman who strives for equality with the man, is a woman who strives to eliminate tension from the dynamic she has with the man. So is a woman who strives to eliminate desire from the dynamic she has with the man. And this is why I always say that you cannot give her what she wants. Tension is the entire reason why she is here standing before you, and she will do everything to eliminate this tension. I told you guys that the majority of women I have slept with really hated me at first. They thought I was rude, obnoxious, and a prick. They hated that I was openly a player, that I slept with their friends, their sister, their cousin, and that I thought I was better than what I was. They really wanted to show me that I am not as great as I thought I was or how other people saw me. Plot twist, they failed. They could not beat me. So they joined me. I told you guys that women are creatures of fear, and because of this, they are always looking to control things and sort things into other things that make them feel safe. They will strip something of its power and make it as small as possible in order to eliminate their fear and their anxiety. So if a woman is unable to predict you, read you, manipulate you, put you into routines, make you into something reliable, small, consistent, change you or get you to open up, weaken you, exploit you or disempower you, she will fear you and she will feel powerless towards you. She will feel tension. A woman who cannot get you to bend to her will, a woman who cannot manipulate you, is a woman who will feel powerless in your presence. This feeling of powerlessness will only result in tension. And as I said, tension is the main ingredient for the woman's sexual arousal, attraction towards you. So if you are simply secure in yourself, who you are, your identity, your direction, your purpose, your path, your why, then you will make the woman feel insecure in herself because she's not any of those things. She can feel your power and she's aware of her powerlessness. Your security will make her feel insecure, and this will result in tension. The woman will do everything to eliminate this tension, as I said. And if she is unable to eliminate this tension, then this tension will remain. This tension will bottle up and it will need to be released. And the woman releases this tension by fucking you. This is the woman's arousal. This is the stuff of romance and seduction. It's very important that you guys understand this, because if you don't understand this and you're none the wiser to these things, you're going to be dealing with women who is consistently working towards the elimination of the very things that you're currently enjoying right now. So many of you men who feel insecure in your relationship, a lot of you men who are in good positions right now, you have this looming sense of dread, don't you? This looming feeling, almost as if your intuition is telling you, things will change in the future. And that's because it will change. Your woman is working towards something and you are not sure of what this is. You're not doing what you need to be doing to ensure your woman does not find what she's looking for.
And here's what most of you women won't admit. A woman's attraction is tied to knowing this information, that you actually have enough self-respect to leave her when she repeatedly violates your boundaries. Because if you have no boundaries that you're actually willing to walk away from, you have no attraction, period. A woman who unlearns to fear her man sacrifices her most feminine instincts, and a man's capacity for severity is directly linked to his capacity for profound love. Remember that she needs to have a healthy fear of losing you, because a man that she cannot lose is a man that she cannot want.
So the issue with you guys is, I wouldn't say that you guys fear conflict with the woman. Well, I know some of you guys do, but I don't think this is the majority of men. I would say the majority of men fear the consequences of conflict with the woman, right? And for good reason as well. A lot of you guys have entered into the dynamics incorrectly. You know, a lot of you guys have entered into this dynamic in a very subservient way. This is why I tell you guys to not really go through the whole taking a woman out on date route. Hi there, you look so beautiful. I was wondering if I can take you out sometime. I always advise that you guys don't go down that route. Very subservient, weak way to enter into a power dynamic. Right, with a woman, you know, your relationships, intersexual dynamics is a power dynamic with the woman. It's a dynamic built on exchange, value exchange and negotiation. And to enter into that in such a weak way, you know, I mean, you guys wouldn't want to conduct all of your business like that. You know, even like, look at me here, you know, the same way I deal with women is the same way I deal with you guys, right? You know, I'm seducing you guys to come to me. This is what I do with women. This is how I maintain as much power as possible, and this is the reason why my conversion is like 100%, both in business, about 90% with women. So earlier I asked you, how do you see the woman? Do you see her as a tiger or do you see her as a bunny? Because depending on your perspective will depend on how you enter into dynamics with the woman and how that dynamic plays out. Jesus, depending on your perspective will depend if you can even talk to women in general. Because if you see her like a tiger, you'll probably freeze and fawn in its presence, especially if it's majestic and beautiful looking, right? If a tiger lunges at you, you will probably feel a lot of fear, right? But if a bunny lunges at you, you will probably find it cute. Do you see where I'm going with this? So let's break down how we got here. Depending on your past experiences with women will depend on whether you see women as a tiger or a bunny. And how you see the woman is everything, because perspective is everything. Perspective pretty much determines everything you do. So it determines how you shape the future, your future. If you've even developed a good enough perspective to be able to shape your future, maybe your perspective is still weak and at the mercy of others who are able to shape their futures. If you see the woman as a tiger, then you see the woman incorrectly. I think we can all agree on that. But if you see the woman as a bunny, then you are closer to the truth, but not the whole way. The most accurate way to see the woman is as a bunny who wants to see herself as a tiger and wants others to see her as a tiger. This should be seen as cute because it is cute, silly because it is silly, but also a little bit dangerous because it is a little bit dangerous. Nuance is required in life, and especially with the woman. Those of you men who do not have the capacity, patience, or intelligence to hold nuance, use nuance, and navigate through nuance will struggle like crazy with women and children. You will struggle to lead a family for sure. The nuance required to raise a little girl is not for the weak. And I'm 100% certain that the men who are unable to hold space and capacity for nuance, multiple truths as well, the men who are unable to deal with paradoxes, to deal with the counterintuitive nature of life and the woman, I really do believe that these men will die out. 1,000,000%. That's my theory. I think this is the next step of natural selection. I think the men who are unable to hold space and capacity for nuance and paradoxes and multiple truths, I think you guys are going to die out, because especially now that we don't have the systems that we used to have in place in society, and the women are free to choose and select men through arousal, intention, and respect and admiration. Men who are able to read their mind and make them feel how the man wants her to feel. Those are the men who are going to reproduce going forward, for sure. And the women have already showed themselves more willing to share men than to deal with a man who isn't able to hold space for nuance. A man can't even be attractive, because in order to be actually attractive and maintain a woman's attractive, you need a capacity within your nervous system and your ego to be able to do multiple things. This is the reason why we see today a man will spend 10 years or 5 years of his life thinking all women want is looks. He goes down there, comes to find out he doesn't. Okay, well, all women want is money. He goes down there, comes to find out it isn't. Okay, well, all women want is this and all women want is that. He's so one-track minded, one-dimensional, and then he spent all of his life and he's got no women. I think these men are going to die out. A bunny isn't a threat, but a bunny with a gun is a little bit of a threat, right? I mean, I reckon I'll deal with it same way. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, what, a bunny with a gun? Do you know what I mean? I'll dodge right, dodge left, spinning kick, kick that gun out, disarm that bunny. So it's not really a problem, but it's still something to be careful with, right? And that's the woman. Okay, so how do you see the woman? Do you see the woman as a tiger, or do you see the woman as a bunny? The woman is obviously more bunny than a tiger, right? Every human being both has a predator and a prey residing within them. We do. There are things that can bring the prey out, and then there are things that can bring the predator out. But we know the woman is more prey than predator. We all know this. She has no sharp teeth and she has no sharp claws. Yet she puts the fear of God in you. Why? Why does she put the fear of God in you? Do you truly fear the woman, or do you fear what she represents? Do you fear the emotions she can make you feel? Let's explore this. Remember, I said your past experiences of the woman will shape your perspective of the woman that you have today. Your experiences will shape your perspective of the woman. All right, so if you've had a lot of good experiences with the woman, you will see the woman as something that represents pleasure, comfort, and security. But if you've had a lot of negative experiences with the woman would represent to you rejection, abandonment, humiliation, and embarrassment. That's what you truly fear. You don't fear the woman, you fear the woman's power to make you feel rejected, abandoned, humiliated, and embarrassed. Now, let me ask you this question, fellas. Is it impossible for you guys to overcome your fear of rejection, abandonment, humiliation, and embarrassment? Of course not. Of course not. It's not impossible to overcome these things. But you guys refuse to do the work to overcome these things. And because you refuse to do the work to overcome these things, the woman is now a tiger to you. The woman is now a dragon to you. Because as I said, when things don't go well with the woman, she represents rejection, abandonment, humiliation, and embarrassment. These are the emotions you are truly afraid of. Your fear of those emotions puts the woman on a pedestal, transforms the woman into a tiger, into a dragon. If you simply do the work to overcome the fear, the chokehold those emotions have you in, then you will no longer fear the woman, because you don't fear the woman, you fear the emotions the woman can bring out into you, the negative sides that the woman can represent. By simply overcoming this aspect within you, this is the masculine journey to independence and 100% vulnerability with yourself, you will no longer have a fear for the woman. Naturally, your ego, your nervous system will not look at the woman as a tiger. She will look at the woman like a bunny. A bunny who wants to be seen as a tiger. That is cute, that is silly, and it's a little bit dangerous, but it's not a tiger and it's not a dragon. When you are able to do this, fellas, you will be able to look at the woman correctly through the lens of pleasure, comfort, and security. Both the pleasure, comfort, and security she can provide you, and the pleasure, comfort, and security you can provide her. Cuteness, literally, naturally, instinctively triggers our desire to do those things, to offer comfort, pleasure, and security. Right? Even with our children, we offer our children pleasure by giving them snacks. I can't bring my little youths around any grandparents. I can't bring my little youths around anybody. Right? Because my little youths are cute and everyone wants to fatten them up with snacks and treats behind my back. Just fattening up my kid. Every time my kid goes somewhere to stay, comes back, my kid always comes back fat, because the desire to give my kid pleasure is high, comfort is high, security is high. Why? Because in return, it's a trade. My children gives everybody else pleasure, comfort, and security. Children are pleasurable. Just them being around you, enjoy. Children have aura, they're cute. Right? And they offer other people pleasure, comfort, and security. If you guys see the woman like a tiger, then you're not going to be able to have conflict correctly with it. You won't, first of all, you will avoid conflict, straight up. You will be conflict avoidant. You don't want to beef this thing. You're afraid of it, right? Maybe you're not afraid of it, but you're afraid of the consequences of having conflict with it. The biggest consequence, right, is that the woman leaves you because of your boundaries you've erected, because you've said no, because you've put your foot down, because you've walked away. But if I walk away, will she come back? That uncertainty that you've not overcome is what will keep you in a perpetual state and loop of not being able to make women love you and admire you, cherish you, respect you, and be sexually attracted to you. That is a continuous test you will fail, and you will never ever pass this test. You will never overcome this test. Never. Because the woman wants a masculine man. She does these things. She lays on her back, her front, her side. She does that for a masculine man. You are performing masculinity. One of the first things the masculine man overcomes is fear of uncertainty and ambiguity. That's where faith happens. That's why he's confident. He has faith in the face of these things. You haven't generated that. You're not independent. You pretend to be independent. You don't have boundaries. You pretend to have boundaries. You can't walk away. You pretend to walk away. The woman isn't dumb. She's got testing mechanisms for this. You're going to continuously fail these tests. If you refuse to do the work, this is going to result in you continuously failing these tests. This means you're not good enough for the things that you seek. You are good enough to be a placeholder. You're good enough to be used. You're good enough for conditional love. You're good enough to be the man that she deals with until a better man comes along. You're good enough to be around her. That's it. You're not good enough. You've not done the work. The woman will always, she's not going to listen to you. The woman bends to willpower. At the end of the day, if you can't walk away from her, brother, you don't love her, you love yourself. And you don't even love yourself in the right type of way. You love your lower nature. How can someone be abusing you and disrespecting you and you won't leave? You're codependent. The woman needs a man who's independent and can show her an interdependent relationship for her to grow and develop. You're not who you say you are. You're not, she shouldn't be invested in you. You're going to always fail that test. Every woman has that test. If I walk away, how does he react? Can I do things to get him to walk away? It's a simple test to see whether you're masculine or you're performing masculinity. All right, I'm going to wrap the video up here. In my work, I always talk to you guys about the importance of not giving the woman what she wants. I don't say this to be mean. I say this because of the paradoxical and counterintuitive nature of the woman. She wants to be led by a man, but she does not want to be led by a man. She wants to desire you, but she will do everything in her power to stop desiring you. She wants equality, but wants a man who is superior to her. What she wants cannot and does not exist in reality, because the woman is a creature of fantasy. She does not look at the world as how things are. She looks at the world as how things should be, ought to be. And this is influenced by fantasy, TV shows, social media, and idiots. Individuals who pander to the woman. Because there's a lot of money in pandering to the woman. So even her understanding of how the world should be and ought to be, the nirvana fallacy she lives within, it can never ever be achieved. She deals with you from a place of irrational fear and overzealous control. And these things cannot exist in a healthy relationship dynamic. The woman doesn't have a healthy relationship with herself. And so you following the woman's lead or direction in any way, shape, or form is only going to result in you having an unhealthy relationship with her as she does her own self. But ultimately, you're going to end up having an unhealthy relationship with yourself. Ask around. This is what happens. The woman brings codependency, and it is your job as a man to disable that and introduce her to interdependence. But you can only introduce her to interdependence if you yourself is an independent man. What I'm talking about is the only relational dynamic that is built on love, trust, and growth. So the woman cannot have the things she wants. She knows this, but cannot stop herself from wanting the things she wants. She's a creature of want and desire, so she must be stopped. Conflict must be had in order to stop her from the woman's path to destruction. If you love the woman, you will stop her. If you don't love the woman, you will let her continue down her path of destruction. This is why the women are so upset when you refuse to fight for the relationship, when you refuse to fight her for the relationship, when you refuse to fight her. She knows that you do not love her enough when you refuse to stop her from destroying herself. Conflict is something that you cannot avoid when you're dealing with the woman. If the man represents order and structure and discipline, then the woman represents chaos and destruction. We know these things. You can't avoid conflict when you're dealing with the woman, and you cannot be afraid of the consequences of conflict when you are dealing with the woman. You are a man, you serve your God, you're on your path regardless. Regardless. The woman decides whether she's going to join you on your journey or not. If she decides to not join you on your journey, then so be it. She will purposely become an enemy of progress and try to sabotage your journey and who you are to see how you react. You must react correctly. But again, as I said, just like Mihawk, what type of man are you? And what type of man goes all out when fighting a rabbit?